Hi everyone, I'm Whitney from Sugar and Sparrow, and today I'm showing you how to make raspberry buttercream with fresh or frozen raspberries. It can be tricky to flavor buttercream with fresh fruit because the liquid content it contains can easily ruin your buttercream consistency, making it runny or curdled. My favorite way to flavor raspberry buttercream is actually with freeze-dried berries because I feel that they pack the most flavor into frosting without adding any liquid content. But if you don't have access to freeze-dried fruit in your area, the method in this video is perfect for using fresh or frozen berries. To get started, use a food processor to puree your fresh raspberries. I'm using 5 ounces of fresh raspberries here, and if you're using frozen berries, you'll want to thaw them first before pureeing them. A quick note here on seeds. I don't mind the seeds in my raspberry buttercream because after cooking them down in the next step, they are so subtle and soft. If you'd rather omit the seeds, you can press the puree through a fine mesh sieve to separate the seeds out from the rest of the puree before moving on. Next, add those pureed berries into a small saucepan set over medium heat. Bring the raspberry puree to a boil and then turn the heat down to low and simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes, stirring occasionally. If you're using frozen berries, this reduction process might take a little bit longer because of the extra liquid content that the ice adds. The point here is to evaporate most of the liquid from the berries and intensify the flavor. So you'll cook the puree until it's reduced to just a few tablespoons of jam-like consistency raspberries. Once you reach that stage in the reduction process, you'll want to set the reduced puree aside and let it come to room temperature before moving on in the recipe. When the reduced raspberry puree is at room temperature, add 1 cup or 226 grams of unsalted butter, which should also be at room temperature, into the bowl of your stand mixer fitted with a paddle attachment. You could use a hand mixer for this as an alternative. Whip the butter on medium-high until it's creamy and light in color, which takes about 5 minutes. Be sure to scrape down the bowl and paddle a few times during the process. Next, add 3.5 cups or 420 grams of powdered sugar a few cups at a time, making sure each addition is fully incorporated before adding the next and scraping down the bowl and paddle in between additions. You'll want to mix this in on low speed. When the powdered sugar is fully combined with the butter, add in the cooled, reduced raspberry puree. Turn the mixer on low speed and add a pinch of salt, and then mix for another minute or so to make sure everything gets fully incorporated. And just look at this beautiful buttercream. I love the color that it naturally turns out. It's a great consistency for filling and frosting cakes, decorating cupcakes, and adding to any bake. If you want more recipes like this one, including my favorite freeze-dried raspberry buttercream, or to learn more about cake baking and decorating, be sure to hit the subscribe button on my YouTube page so you never miss a new video from me. Check out my blog at sugarandsparrow.com for my favorite recipes, baking tips, decorating tutorials, and so much more. I also wrote a book called Anyone Can Cake, which is an all-encompassing guide on how to bake, build, and decorate perfect layer cakes. Find it wherever books are sold worldwide, and I'll also link it in the video description below. Thanks for watching!